Megumi Fushiguro's domain expansion. People, Jujutsu Kaisen fans around, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I wasn't the biggest Megumi fan throughout the run of Jujutsu Kaisen. It really didn't hit me with Megumi. I was just always like, you know, kind of typical, I guess you would say. Yo, Gojo's freaking awesome, dog. Look at Gojo, dog. Like, oh my god, I love me some Gojo. Yo, Yuji and the dynamics with his relationship with Sukuna, pretty freaking sick. And Sukuna's just a disrespectful Charizard. Nobara, wow, a new era of shonen female protagonist is here, and Kugisaki is my gal. And then there was Megumi. That was kind of like a uncertain and unknown, so to speak. Like, he had some connections and relationships to very strong and epic people, and as the story pulled back the layers of who he really is, of course, you know, relation to the Zenin clan, everything about him, it's little by little almost like a very slow development of a character that all along was going to be one of the most epic. Because I'm not even gonna lie, this battle between Megumi and Reggie is really, I don't know why is it that it took this long for Gege Akutami to reel me in when it comes to the Megumi hype train, but I'm here, baby. I'm all in because, yo, every time I see Megumi smile, every time I see him give like that creepy look, just gives me vibes of Toji. And y'all know how amazing in the short amount of time and the short pieces of info we've gotten here and there that Toji really was, his pops. And I ain't gonna lie, this battle against Reggie, dog, domain expansion, even if it isn't complete, an expansion, a domain is a domain, baby. Let's talk some of that Jujutsu Kaisen greatness. As a matter of fact, let's talk a little bit. Is this the first time I'm saying this? If it's not, oh well, either way I want to say it. That Megumi Fushiguro greatness. Yeah, the Zenin clan, you know, at the end of the day, they got some really awesome people there, dog. Let's talk about, well, some awesome people, like the very small handful that are left. Yo, shout outs to Maki. Yeah.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, so between chapters 170 and 171, the latest chapter as of the recording of this video, dog, this battle with Megumi and Reggie, while a lot of people have been a little bit skeptical, man. People have been kind of skeptical of this whole arc in general, the Culling games. They've been like, yo, who is this person, who's that person? But one of the things that I think is going over people's heads, and I'm very much so catching it, noticing it, and embracing it, is the fact that Gege Akutami is using this opportunity, using this arc right here, using the violence and the uncertainty of who can attack and what's going down in the Culling games to add development and pushing forward characters without it being stale and boring, without it just being like, yeah, you know, Megumi was sitting down and he was crying looking at a magazine that reminded him, like nothing that is just stale. Like, you're still getting the action stuff for people that, you know, they love action, they love shonen, battle manga, whatnot. You're still having that delivered, but you're seeing a character right before your eyes go from caterpillar to butterfly, with Megumi just becoming an absolute freaking beast in this battle against Reggie. Like, I ain't gonna lie, Reggie ain't the most epic or anything like that. Reggie's just kind of like, hey, you know, he's a wild child, so to speak. His curse technique of contractual recreation technique, it's like in the right hands, I think that could actually be very useful, because he just basically right there gives himself the experience of, I had a 2-3 day spa session and I'm all relaxed. Like, imagine if you get your hands on a receipt of, I don't know, a freaking explosive or something like that. Like, you could do some real freaking damage. But again, Reggie, I don't want to say he's an idiot or anything like that, because he's not displaying that he's a moron, but it's Reggie, you know, as in like, that's that Reggie, that's that mid. No. And at the end of chapter 170, Megumi's like, oh, okay, bet, yo, it's time to break out the technique, and he gets into that pose. And I love the way Gege Akutami utilizes the color black, especially when it comes to Megumi. You just see him surrounded in darkness, and he says, boom, domain expansion, Chimera Shadow Garden. And I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of left like, wait a minute, what? Megumi domain expansion? What are we doing here, folks? Next chapter 171 kind of explains a little more in detail that Megumi isn't all the way there yet, which that's the point, I think, a lot of it anyway, of the Culling games, is we're going to get a massive amount of character development in these life or death situations. You know how they say the best experience is to actually be out in the field, not to just read about it, hear about it, or have, you know, small little experience here or there, like to actually have some real life or death situations. That's what's happening with the Culling games, but it's just even more intense because this is a survival game. game, word of future diary. And homie ended that chapter saying, I never said I didn't have any big moves. Like, yo, I'm that dude, bro. Megumi, you just see here and there little cracks once in a while of his father's there. Like, he is his father in a lot of ways. It's just that, first of all, before, of course, we knew about Toji in general, we're not going to understand, like, this is what's being poken out here or there from his character. But just here and there, you just see, like, there's a badass there. There's a badass in this guy. And everything Reggie tries to do, again, Megumi is, like, not necessarily one step ahead, but is very much so capable of countering. When he tries to use that wicker basket technique, okay, boom, we're going to just use the shadow toads and grab his legs and shit like that. Like, oh my god. And one of the things too that this battle I'm really noticing is being showcased and whatnot is the fact that I'm starting to see way more, which Gege Akutami has never been shy about, of inspiration from Hunter x Hunter. Like, the detail of every technique and capability gives you that complex situation that a lot of shonen battle fans, they love. Like, yo, I don't want just the, hey, this is my water gun attack, hey, I use fire. Like, it gets really deep and complex. And then on top of that, you add, you know, the narrator narrating shit. It's like, oh, okay, we've got some Hunter x Hunter really in full effect. So Tagashi, relax, Gege Akutami is going to hold it down. But after, again, going at it back and forth, and if Megumi wasn't in this state, I'd imagine that this battle would have been over very quickly, because it's deduced and it's explained basically by the narrator again that Megumi is essentially still incomplete with his domain expansion. Again, I think if he was mastered at it, or at the very least had a full grasp of how to use it, he probably would have dusted off Reggie quickly, because Reggie doesn't seem like the big baddie of them all. He's like some punk that is, you know, kind of slick about it, uses a lot of trickery and things like that. Like, that's how Reggie has been getting by. But Megumi, if he was, you know, complete with this domain expansion, he would have dusted him off. And it even goes further into detail that essentially, like, Megumi's domain expansion isn't even really a domain expansion right now. It's just essentially taking one of his curse techniques and boosting it up to like 120% accuracy. So it's not really like, you know, if you compare it, it's literally night and day to like what Gojo could do with his insane domain expansions. Like, he's just like, you know, he's a noob right now. And I mean, don't get me wrong, in comparison to somebody like Yuji, he's definitely more far along in that capability of, you know, using the domain expansion, but still, he's not quite there. And that's the only reason why Reggie is still even in this battle against Megumi. And I ain't gonna lie, it just started getting even more badass when Megumi has the shadow clone and he's grabbing Reggie by the leg and swinging a bat. I'm like, yo, he gets down, dog. He gets down. We have Fight Club. We had all sorts of insane shit going down, where it's just little by little, more and more. Once again, like I said, Megumi shooting up as epic guy. However, because of course the technique is incomplete, Reggie does find a weakness within the technique that is being wielded by Megumi, essentially saying that, okay, so he has to take on the weight of everything that is within those shadows. Again, if it was complete domain expansion, probably wouldn't have any sort of problem like that. And so essentially Reggie, using his freaking contractual recreation or whatnot, throws 2.4 tons, essentially 3 cars worth of weight on top of Megumi. And like I said earlier, Megumi always, even if he's not one step ahead, he'll just, oh, okay, that's what you're trying to do here, bet I'm gonna drop an elephant's worth of weight on you, let's see who crushes more. And something to just point out that I freaking love about, again, Megumi's character is, if you look closely to the last few panels and you see his face again, he is smiling in a very creepy way. Every time Megumi does that, it's just more and more like he's going down the rabbit hole of like epicness and arguably even insanity. Yo, Megumi is insane, dog. Calling it right now. Which, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, he's part of the Zenin clan, so yeah, you probably go insane too. But overall, this battle, Megumi versus Reggie, Megumi's incomplete domain expansion thus far. Just imagine once he gets a hold of this thing, what he's going to be capable of doing. And I'd imagine by the end of the Culling games, he is going to have a complete grasp of it. Might not be mastered, but it'll be complete. And your overall thoughts and expectations for the Jujutsu Kaisen manga with chapter 172 and beyond. I'm expecting more epicness from Megumi and Gege continuing to develop this character via epic action and insane things going down with vivid detail on some Hunter x Hunter. That's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace and shout outs to Megumi Fushiguro. I'm a believer. Okay, no, let me stop. Have an awesome one. You are
to